What's up, guys? This is your boy Jalen here on another episode of Elevated Minds. Today we have a special guest. This is Coach Bri. She is a coach for confidence and self-concept for women. So want to welcome her on today. And Bri, if you want to just go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jalen. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Bri. I am a self-confidence coach. I mainly focus on self-confidence, manifestation, and dating and relationships with mostly women, but I do work with some men when I feel appropriate. But I mainly help women who are just getting out of breakups take their power back and begin loving themselves again. Whether that's they want that person back and they just need some self-confidence in order to get there, or they just want to work on self-confidence overall and start fresh. So that is what I help women with.
That's awesome. I want to start off this episode because the episode is going to be confidence and self-concept. So can you give us like your definition of what confidence and self-concept is?
Yeah, great question to start out. It's funny for me because I've been on another podcast, but I have to like think of these things quickly. And now that I'm getting better at it, it's easier to answer. But they're actually two different things for me. So self-confidence to me is, hey, I'm very confident on the external shell. I do things for myself, such as take myself to the gym. I get my nails done. I do the maintenance that it requires in order to feel like a beautiful woman, whatever that is for you, whether it's like, you know, or as a male, again, like going and getting massages, like whatever it is that makes you feel good about yourself. And self-concept is a little bit deeper. That's more, what are your limiting beliefs as a woman? Do you feel chosen? Do you feel worthy? Did you grow up in a household where your parents were together or were they apart? And did that create issues for you, you know, as far as trauma and having healthy relationships as an adult? And so again, self-concept, a little bit deeper, your limiting beliefs that are coming from your subconscious mind versus self-confidence is, okay, now that I have that nice, strong self-concept, who am I showing up as on the outside and am I maintaining that?
Okay.
So, you know, I focus on both, but one is a little bit deeper than the other.
Right. So what do you think that people have more of an issue with in general? Do you think it's more self-confidence or do you think it's more self-concept?
Oh, it's definitely self-concept. But self-confidence comes from a strong self-concept.
Okay.
And you can have self-confidence without a strong self-concept, if that makes sense. So prior to my healing journey, for instance, I always had confidence, like a very hard external shell, but on the inside, I was really insecure.
Right.
And so that's where it differs.
Okay. That makes sense. So in your journey, when did it seem that you wanted to get into coaching? Like what was it? I guess what point was it that you realized you wanted to like help people, you know, in your journey?
Yeah. Again, good question. So I have a background in personal training. I love helping people feel great about themselves. Like I think I'm just a natural leader. I feel like I'm a very different human being. I know that sounds funny, but and what's great about TikTok is you actually find that community, and I find that in you as well, of course, because you interview all these amazing people. I feel like I've always had this really bright light within me that's meant to help other people. And I expressed that originally through personal training in my adult career first. That was my very first career. Okay. And then, you know, now I work or was working up until recently in the medical field. But through personal training, I realized, and my personal healing journey is the reason I became a confidence coach. And when I started TikTok and I actually started using, at first I was using my TikTok to talk about manifestation, law of attraction. And then once I started my own healing journey, I was like, wow, I can actually teach this to other women.
Yeah.
I realized, holy crap, when I healed myself, the dates I was going on were way better. I was healthier. I was more emotionally stable. And I realized, wow, I can teach this to other women. I can monetize this on my platform and help other women do the same exact thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a lot of the kind of a similar background with that, because I actually started in the healthcare field. And so, so I was in the healthcare field, and I started off in like the food part of it, and then kind of got into admissions and like the office side, and then marketing. I was like a marketing and sales director there. But so the interesting thing of what you said, my self-concept of myself changed as I was going, working in the medical field and realizing the things that I was going through with relationships and just in life in general. A lot of the things that were happening to me were because of my self-concept of myself and the thoughts I was having. Everything that I thought 5 years ago was the reason why I was in the spot I was at. And I think that a lot of people should understand more about self-concept. And that's why I really wanted to do this episode with you, because I watched a lot of your stuff, and a lot of it speaks to me, because I see like I just know that you had to have dealt with a lot of things going through your journey to want to help people. So what are some of like the struggles that you dealt with up until that point?
Yeah, I love that. And I love that resonates with you. That I think that's amazing. I think that's why you enjoy that, right? It's because it resonates with you. But
what were some of your like struggles that you dealt with, with your confidence and getting up until that point? What were some of your struggles?
Yeah. So for me personally, the like trigger or the straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that I kept attracting toxic relationships. And I would always say to my girlfriends, like, is it something with me? What am I doing? Why do I keep attracting toxic men?
Yeah.
But were treating me poorly, walking all over me, like just using me for one thing. And I always felt like the girl right after me was chosen, but it was never me.
Right.
And I was like, I don't understand, like, what is going on? And so finally, of course, your support system or your friends would say, hey, it's not you, it's the other person. They're just obviously not seeing your value. But it's like, at what point do we take responsibility for the fact that we're attracting these kinds of people into our life? Because if we just keep playing victim mode, then we're just going to keep creating that reality. Yeah,
exactly.
And so I finally decided to do some self-reflection, and I started to do some research online. And when I realized what self-concept was, because it's so much deeper than self-confidence, is that who we are now is molded from when we are a child. All of those tiny events and the failed relationships and the failed jobs or the learning and going through those struggles has created us to who we are now. But what are those negative thought patterns we've brought with us?
Right.
And so that was, for me, I was like, okay, I did some self-reflection and I started healing. And when I started like feeling better, I didn't date, I wasn't drinking, I was really taking care of myself and healing my mind. And then once I started dating again, I was noticing the men that I was attracting were into meditation, were into Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Wow.
Like, we could sit down and have a conversation that was so healthy. And hey, what is it you're looking for? This is what I'm looking for. And it was so healthy.
Yes.
And I realized, holy shit. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
I was like, holy shit, this is what I've been wanting. And because I took 6 months and did the work on myself, that was a pure reflection of who I, sought out to be. So for me, it was constant toxic relationships for 27 years, because I started my healing journey when I was 27.
Yeah. Wow. So that also speaks to me, because if anyone can tell you about me, I always seemed to attract crazy women, like,
oh goodness, yeah,
like, you know what I mean, like, and it's something I had to realize, I had to take responsibility for that. I could always say, oh, I don't get it, why do I always seem to attract these types of girls? It's like they're always really jealous, or they're always really this and always really that, and they won't. It's so weird. And then it started to click on me once I got, I think I was around 27 when I started my healing journey. Yeah, about 27. And I started to realize some patterns. And I'm like, wait, this is like the fifth girl that this has happened. So there's something that I'm doing that's attracting this type of woman, And, and so but I realized it, like you said, it was some things from childhood, just stuff that you you actualize. It's stuff that you kind of formulate in your thoughts in your mind, and you accept that as reality. And so in my head, and I just read this book called The Magic of Surrender, and the book was there's something in it that really, it was like a piece of it just like clicked in my head. The guy, basically there was two guys, and he was complaining about he always attracted crazy women, and then the other guy was like, well, why do you like crazy women? Why do you like jealous women? And he's like, what are you talking about? I don't like jealous women. And he's like, no, ask yourself that for real. Why do you like jealous women? And when he thought about it, it's like, when you was really truthful about it, it's like, I like jealous women because a jealous woman is going to always want to be around me. They're going to be always trying to be. And if they're trying to always be with me, then I know they're not going to leave me. And, that was something I just always dealt with, but it was something that a lot of people don't really realize, I think. And so that's why I think it's just such an awesome thing what you're doing, because not only did you catch the pattern, but now you're trying to help people that are dealing with that to, stop that pattern. I think that's a huge thing, because one of the biggest quotes they say is the type of relationships you have is going to pretty much dictate, your quality of life. And so what would you say are some of the biggest pitfalls that you see some of your clients have? Like what are some of the biggest things that you see people have as hurdles when it comes to getting into confidence?
Yeah, the biggest thing is not feeling chosen.
Not feeling chosen.
Every single woman that comes to me, they don't feel chosen.
Yeah.
And with not feeling chosen, again, is an effect of multiple relationships where they're failed, right? Like, I don't really believe relationships are a failure. I think we just learn.
Absolutely.
And then, like you said, we compartmentalize, and then we start to think, oh, it's my fault. It's my fault. So now I'm not chosen. I'm not worthy. And we take that responsibility and think it's like, I mean, it is our fault essentially, right? But like, because we've had so many relationships that haven't worked out, we take that baggage with us into the next relationship, and it's continuing that pattern.
Right.
And so that's why typically, like you were saying, Jalen, we constantly attract a different face in the same body.
Yes.
Because we're not taking the time to heal and ask ourselves, why do I keep attracting this kind of person?
Yes.
What is it within me, and taking some responsibility instead of just not feeling chosen and then not choosing to do anything about it.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And that part right there, the not choosing to do something about it. Because, I think, a lot of times people get to the point to where they identify it, like, okay, maybe there is something going on. Mm-hmm. But then after that, they kind of stop right there. They just kind of fall into victim mode. And I think that's kind of where people go wrong, is they are like, well, why are they out to get me? I see that this is what's going on, but why is this happening? Instead of realizing a lot of these things are happening because of your thoughts, because of their energy. And I think, what you teach is really great, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that a lot of it is energy. A lot of it is about manifestation. You're manifesting these things from yourself, from your actions, from your behaviors, from your thoughts. Like, what are some things that people can do to start getting more confident in changing their self-concept? What would you recommend for that, for the viewers?
Yeah, great question. I have chills because I love talking about this stuff. Like,
Me too.
I literally, as your podcast is literally called Elevated Minds, I feel like I love talking to like-minded people about this stuff. But,
yes.
What I would do, so for me personally, I just did research. I found a couple coaches on YouTube that I really enjoyed, and I was persistent.
Yeah.
And so what I want to start by saying when it comes to self-concept work is that you have two parts of your brain. So you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. 90% of your thoughts are held in your subconscious mind, and those are your unconscious thoughts about who you are as a male or female.
Yeah.
And so again, if I've had multiple relationships, you're not chosen, you're the second woman, you're not chosen, that's what's back there. And so there's 2 different times of the day where you can actually get into your subconscious and reprogram it so that 90% of your automatic thoughts throughout the day are, no, I am chosen.
Yeah.
I am worthy. I am loved. I am deserving of this beautiful relationship. And so the best way to do that is right before you go to bed and right as you wake up. And the first thing I always say is play what's called a subliminal 8-hour sleep affirmation tape.
Yes.
And what that is, and I'm sure it sounds like you play those for yourself.
I do.
It's so simple. Just go to YouTube, you type in 8-hour self-concept sleep track, and just you play it, whether you wear headphones or you just listen to it out loud, and it's going to say, I'm chosen, I'm worthy. So you're planting those seeds of reprogramming the way that you're thinking about yourself.
Right.
And that is literally so simple. The hardest part about it is overcome, and this is why I'm a coach, because we need hands to hold when we're going through this process.
Yes.
You have negative thought patterns between 0 and 27, and so undoing all of that is going to be really anxiety driven.
Absolutely.
And that's where people give up. They don't want to keep moving forward, and so they retract back into their negative thinking patterns.
Right.
So sorry, I took that a little far, but
no,
essentially,
that was good.
I would start listening to a self-concept 8-hour sleep track and reprogramming your subconscious, because that is the number one thing. There's extra little steps you can do to help that, but that is always my go-to number one.
See, I love that. And it's funny because I talk to people about this, and I started doing it maybe 2 years ago. I listen to them every night, whatever it is, like some for money, some for some for confidence, some for attracting opportunities, and it's insane because it works. It really works. I don't know how to explain it to people, but say, hey, just try it, and that's really what I started doing when I started that other job, and I was like, I want to make more money. And then I started listening to these money affirmations, and my mind would change. Like it programs you to start acting as those words, like whatever I am powerful. You're going to start acting powerful. You're going to start acting competent. You're going to start acting confident. You're going to sit up straighter. It's something that naturally happens. And I just like that you said that, because when I started to do that, my life really started to change. And now it's like, I feel weird if I go to sleep without it.
Oh, same. And you know what's crazy, Jalen, as you're mentioning the money thing, for me, like I used to have I've always loved money, but my parents used to say money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think? I'm the bank. Also, I was the same way. So I started playing money tracks, and my money situation went to shit before it got better. Wow. Because again, it's you have to purge out the negative thoughts, and everyone's a little different. Some people don't purge, some people do. And for me, it was I had so many bills coming in at one time. I was like, what is going on? I'm working on my money mindset. Why are all these bills coming in? Yes. And once I was on the other side, it's so interesting. Your mind is so powerful. My mind literally found ways for me to make more money. Yes. For me, I just randomly had the idea to start my business. And then I was like, okay, I can go on Facebook Marketplace and get free furniture and flip it. And I was making $600 to $1,000 a month just from flipping Facebook furniture. Wow. What you're saying, your mind finds ways, your subconscious especially, without you, you're not even thinking about it. You're like, oh my God, I started finding these ways to make more money. It's because you were playing the tracks. Yeah. I don't know if you experienced that, but it's so interesting. Yeah. It's funny because while I was going through it, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. I'm listening to these every night. It says, listen to it for 30 days at least, so you can start to see some actual traction with it. And I thought that was really crazy. I'm like, why did it take 30 days? It's interesting. But it's you literally are undoing things, you're unwiring and then rewiring with these new concepts. And I really agree with what you said, that happened to me when it's like the universe is okay, I'm gonna test you. I'm gonna test you right quick. I'm gonna make sure that your concept is changing. And so it really will send those. I had
my brakes went out at this time. I had got a ticket for like, I think $200 or $250, and then I had all the other bills. Everything came at the same time. And I think I needed tires too. Like I do lift also, so that, you know, but everything hit at the same time. And I'm sitting here like, what in the world? But the craziest thing is, I found ways, like there were so many ways that came to me. I was getting stuff in the mail for settlements, like some settlements. If you sign up for the settlement, you might get some money from this, you know, this company's getting sued. And I get $300 here, $200 there. One time, this is crazy. Listening to these affirmations, like I need money. I need this amount of money, and I need it like soon. And I was listening to these affirmations. An ex from like 2 or 3 years ago hit me up,
no way.
And she's like, "You lent me $200. I just thought I should send it back to you." Sent me $200. An ex that I hadn't talked to in like 2 years, and I'm sitting here like.
Full body chills for you right now.
It's like I'm so passionate about this stuff because I've tried it and it works, and so I like that you brought it into this realm here because it's life changing. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Anything. It's not just self concept. It's like you said. It's money. It's you can whatever it is you want to have. You can have it. I think we're so used to like our Amazon order being on our doorstep the next day that people are being so impatient, but you need to understand it takes practice and patience to completely, like you said, unwire and rewire. And it's not an overnight process, but once you're on the other side, wow, it is a game changer. And you don't even, like, I don't even attract toxic people anymore.
Right.
People don't me. Like I have this like white shield around my body.
It's like, nope.
Do not fuck with her. Do not go near her. Do not fuck with her unless you are coming in with a fucking plan.
Yes. No, like it's like that stuff is so real. Like you yourself won't even want those types of people anymore. It's like you see those like traits, you're like, oh nope, I don't even want that. And it's just amazing how it works. So now that we've talked about things that can help with more confidence and help you get into, manifesting more easily and more fluid, what are things that people do that tears down confidence? Is there ways that people, like actions and thoughts that people have that can make them lose confidence?
That's a good question. I definitely would say letting other people's perspective or opinion bring them down. So you can subconsciously change, but what are you doing consciously during the day? So like, let's say someone came to me right now and was like, I don't like you. You're a fake bitch. You do X, Y, and Z. I would just look at them and be like,
all right.
Like, I don't know you. I know who I am. I'm not going to let your perspective of me bring me down. So I think letting, like, instead of looking at someone's perspective of you as their own issue, you need to like let it go and understand that you know who you are and not let that affect you. So taking other people's perspectives in as your own and letting that affect you can hurt your confidence. That's one of the bigger ones, is really letting other people's opinions of you dictate who you are.
Yes.
Down. Honestly, and for me, working out.
Ooh.
Not taking care of your body, not eating healthy. Like those are things that add to it. And again, small daily disciplines equal large disciplines. And so the tiny things that seem insignificant on a daily basis, after years, that adds up. So if you have years of not eating healthy, years of not working out, years of not taking care of yourself and maintaining, a good self-confidence is going to ultimately create a poor self-concept. Yes,
1000%. That's something that it took me a long time to understand. It's like this stuff doesn't just, it's just like if you're really overweight, that stuff you don't get there overnight. It's a lot of these little moments and a lot of these late night, Oreos and, ice cream and stuff, and just skipping the gym for weeks at a time. It's like, it's not just like that one time, it's this time and this time and this time and this time. And it happens over time. So that was something I had to learn. A lot of these actions, they just seem insignificant, but they add up. Like you said, they add up. It's like just like like just like an anthill. If the anthill didn't just get like that, it's one speck of sand at a time. And so people don't understand that when you can change that your self-concept and gain that confidence, this is going to only get better over time. Do you feel that confidence is like a muscle or like a skill that people can?
Oh, 100%. And I love that we're talking about fitness, because people who are into fitness are some of my favorite, because there's something about, I'm not trying to sound conceited right now. This is really just what happens to me. But when I'm out in public, people stare at me. Yes. And it's number one, because I focus on self-concept, but number two, because I'm one of the more fit women typically in an area. Yeah. And you stand out. People who work out know that they stand out in a crowd because you have defined muscles. It's something that you can say, hey, my body is my artwork. And I know that when I go to the gym every single day, I get stronger and stronger. Yes. And it's this thing, but working out your mind. Every single day, you do small daily disciplines to work out your mind. You get stronger and stronger. And that shows in your physical reality through energy and aura, vibes, and things like that. And it's the same idea, just in a energy-based system. Yes.
I love that you brought it to fitness, because I really feel that fitness helps you mentally, physically, and I think spiritually too. But that whole thing, that concept, mind, body, spirit align, I feel like that's so important. And I really feel that those, like the spirit and the mind, can't be connected if the body isn't feeling right. Because I feel like the body literally is the manifestation of your spirit in a way. And so I feel like fitness is super important, because if you think about it, fitness can make you feel better about yourself, because as you work on yourself more, you're going to feel better because you're going to look better. And so would you say that fitness is probably a huge part of self-concept? Do you think it's like a really, one of the larger parts of it?
Yeah, I would say, again, going back to like confidence and self-concept, to me, they're two different things, but they're so close to each other that one equals the other. Multiple times of working out increases a high self-confidence, which makes you feel better. And it helps, like, as much as I hate to say it, we live in a society right now where not everything is based off of looks, right? But people stare at you when you're in shape, and that makes you feel good. You're like, I love being looked at that way because I know that I work hard for this thing, and that helps.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah. And fitness is, and like, honestly, even thinking back on my journey, guys, like I used to be super depressed. I used to have depression, which actually was why I started working out. And I noticed I naturally healed my depression through exercise. Wow. And I wasn't on any depression medications or anything. I naturally healed myself, which then was why I became a fitness trainer. Yes. I was like, to heal myself through fitness, I can heal other people, right? And it's like the same idea with my confidence coaching business, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think that's huge, because I feel that I had a lot of depression and anxiety. And through the gym, I feel like heartbreak, that was actually what got me into the gym. Yeah. A big heartbreak is what got me into it, and I feel like it's just such a positive way to channel some negative energy. I feel like it's a positive way to get some expression out, but also build and, strengthen, and just, in multiple ways. So I just think it's really important. What would you say when it comes to healing? I know it looks different in every person, but would you say that healing is probably one of the most difficult parts of the journey? Or do you think healing is, because I know healing is different for everyone?
I would say, this is going to be completely different, and I just came up with this on the spot. I would say it's the belief system. Do you believe that you can heal? Ooh. Even if you can't 100% see the complete light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like, I've worked with women who have said, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but every day we would work on self-concept. They're like, oh my God, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Now I can kind of start to see where this is going. And they would believe more because they started to feel better. So do you believe it's possible for you to get to the other side, even if it's not completely?
Wow.
So believing in yourself first and foremost, even if you don't fully believe it. But then also the second hardest thing is unwiring and rewiring, because it takes a lot of self-awareness to take responsibility for your negative thought patterns and say, this is the reality I've created. I accept it. I understand it. However, I'm not choosing to let that be the end.
Right.
I'm going to recreate, and I'm going to be patient with myself, and I'm going to have grace with myself, and not every day is going to be perfect, but I'm still going to make that journey something new because I want to live a better life. I want to have a better reality.
Yeah. I love that. I think people have to understand, like what you just said, the healing part is going to take some time, but it's worth it in the end. Because on the other side, if you can just, like, it's mental. If you can just get through that mental block, I feel like, then the other side is going to be that much sweeter because you literally fought for it, you worked for it.
I don't know for you, Jalen, like how long it started to take you to feel better on your healing journey. For me personally, with the self-concept tracks, it only took 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it only took 2 weeks for me to actually begin feeling better. Does that mean I was 100% better? Absolutely not.
Right.
But it only took 2 weeks for me to start noticing, oh my God, like people are staring at me. People are telling me I'm irresistible. People are telling me they want me. People are telling me how beautiful. Like the other day, and I was at Whole Foods, this guy randomly stopped traffic, and rolled down his window and goes, I just want to let you know you have such a beautiful tan.
Wow.
And little things like that, you start to notice, wow, little things like this are starting to happen to me. And that's actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it's overcoming you've heard that saying, like, it's so easy to be positive when everything's going properly and correct. But who are you when shit's hitting the fan and you're getting fulfilled? Yeah. And it's going down. Who are you? Who are you going to choose to be in that moment?
Damn.
Are you going to choose to overcome that negative thought in that moment, or are you going to retract back into your old self? That's when you're really being tested to move forward.
People that really want it, though, it's going to be a struggle, but I feel like the people that really want it, they're going to fight through that, because it's hard. And I can attest for that. When I started dating and once I started healing, I definitely see what you were saying. I started attracting women that were talking about Eckhart Tolle. They'd start I'm like, I didn't know anyone else knew about that. And just stuff that's in my reality, I guess, or things that I'm focusing on. Other people that I would come across were in that same. And so as I started to heal and do more, I started to attract women like that as well. And it's like you're taking your energy back too. So it's like, instead of, putting your energy out to the exes or whoever else and over here who's paying attention to you, you're literally bringing that energy back in. And when you're bringing that energy back in, it's like you get magnetic.
I don't know how much you follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, but I'm obsessed with him.
I just started getting into his stuff now.
It's wild. So he talks about like matter versus space-time reality. Yeah. So he says, like, the more that you try to go out there and change things, you're super dense and you're a lot of matter. Wow. Whereas when you put your energy back and you focus on loving yourself, you actually become less matter and more energy.
Wow.
And so then your energy is literally drawing outward and pulling those things to you without having to go and get something.
Man.
And that's literally the whole idea, is the more you take your energy back. And this is what I help women focus on. And honestly, not all of them can get there because they're not paying attention. They're still focusing on external shit.
Right.
But it's like, the more you begin to understand that, you're like, wow, I don't need to go out and get anything. I just need to be me. I need to focus on healing and loving myself, because like you're saying, the more that I do that, all these women coming in now focus on Eckhart Tolle and Dr. Joe Dispenza and, all those amazing things that you were, having in your reality.
I'm enjoying this. I just have to know, I'm enjoying this conversation. Man,
I'm hyped. I love this kind of stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying, is that's why I love TikTok, is because I've never seen so many like-minded people, or I always just thought I was crazy, to be honest. I'm like, I'm so right?
Yes.
I just felt like I grew up being like the black sheep in the family, and I always was so optimistic. I'm like, screw a diploma, like screw a bachelor's degree. I don't need a bachelor's degree. I can do this shit on my own, you know?
Right.
And I would like be that super optimistic person, and I would think, where are my people?
Yes, I know. You're not alone, I promise.
Yeah, that's why TikTok is so cool, because look how many people are in TikTok that are in the the spiritual community that believe in all of this.
Yes. I think it's just awesome. Like, I think this is one of the greatest times really to be alive and to be able to do this, because it's connecting people that wouldn't honestly probably never ever connect any other way.
Yeah, you and I would have never even known each other.
Right. So I think it's awesome. I only have like a couple more questions, but one of the questions I always I'm trying to start asking in the end, if you could tell your younger self three things of advice, what would that be?
I would say, stop listening to people that are telling you to follow societal norms when it comes to education. You're going to be okay. You don't need to live within their box.
Yes.
I would say, hold on tight, because when you're older, your healing comes in and your relationships get 10 times better. And I would say, be fucking delusional.
Yes.
And the way that you're feeling, this big mind that you have, is completely normal, and you're not out of
reach, or
you're not out of reach. You can have whatever it is that you want, as long as you see it up here. That's really all you need.
Yes. I think that's great advice. Word of advice that you would give to the ladies or the viewer, whoever is watching?
Yeah, I actually just made a TikTok on this today. I would say, stop focusing on your external relationships and take a step back. Really evaluate yourself and say, what part am I playing in these negative relationships? And how can I take my power back? And where can I start?
I like that.
And that is where someone like me comes in, because that's the reason there's coaches, because someone like me who's been through that, I know where to start someone. I know what steps to take. I know exactly what tools you need, and to move forward more confidently.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've noticed, Jalen, everything gets easier when you know yourself.
Everything.
You don't contemplate things. Like you said, when there's red flags, you don't ignore them. Everything gets easier. Everything.
Literally. As simple as that.
I told you I don't have my bachelor's degree. Now I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But it used to be something that really got me down.
Yeah.
And companies would call me, and I would say, they would love me, but they would say, we can't hire you, you don't have a bachelor's degree. And I would question myself.
Yeah.
And now I have all these medical, I quit my 9-to-5 job because again, going through a spiritual awakening, or multiple. I'm like, I don't want to be trading my time. My time is worth way more than I'm accumulating money wise. And I'm sure you feel the same.
Yes.
And all these medical device companies are calling me, and they're saying, do you have a bachelor's degree? And I said, absolutely not. And I'm not going back to school. I know what I bring to the table, and I know who I am. That's my answer.
Yes.
And you can pay me $150 to $200, or you can choose not to have me. And
like that.
That's what I'm saying. But that comes with knowing who you are and accepting. I chose not to go to school. And you know what? I don't have $200,000 in student debt like some people do. And that's where knowing yourself comes into play, is I know what I bring to the table. And if you can't accept that, then don't call me.
See, and I really believe that people really should be that way.
I agree.
I went through something similar with my job. Yeah, I was great at it. I was the best salesperson, best marketer known to man over there. But you know, I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted my own time. I just wanted my own time. I didn't want to be told, you know, and this, you know, it doesn't work for everyone, but for me, it was like, I don't want to be told when I want to go on vacation. I don't want to be told when I can take off work. I don't want to be told when I have to come in. I just want to come in when I want to work, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, and so people thought I was crazy. You know, I turned down the job and other jobs from, you know, the Bay Area and some of these other places. They want me to come in and, you know, we'll pay for your your relocation package. And I'm like, yeah, it's not even enough. Like,
right. So what are you doing now? Are you working for yourself now?
Yeah, so I do Lyft full time and working towards coaching full time. And yeah, working on a book, finishing that up, and then getting into monetizing everything, trying to monetize all my social medias now. So 1 out of 4 is monetized. So working on the other 3 now.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And so you do the coaching full time, or you?
So I'm actually waitressing right now.
Nice.
Yeah. And again, it's crazy because for me, I don't know about you, I did feel a little crazy, like leaving my stable hospital job where I had, right? It's like you do question it a little bit, you know. For me, I was like, shit, I have a stable job. I have health insurance. My job itself is not like I loved it. Yeah. But you do feel a little crazy, you know, and going to waitressing, it's so inconsistent. But the other thing is, like, I took back my time. Now I'm working maybe 30 hours a week as opposed to 40, and I'm working at nights. Yes. So I have days. And that's the thing, I think. And it sounds like you understand that too. Like, even though you're working for Lyft, it might not be as stable, but you get to create your schedule. You get to decide, I get to turn my app on at this time and I get to stop at this time. Yes. And that, I think, is I have chills right now. The biggest part of a spiritual awakening is you understand my time is so valuable. So valuable. And how can I monetize my time to actually work on things that I'm interested in, like you're doing? You're working on your book. It's not like you're just being lazy. You're doing things that you actually are interested in now, which goes so much further, because the more consistent you are, you know, you're going to get so much further with that. Yes. You know, I have to second that. People really think that you're crazy. Like, it's funny because when I'll do Lyft sometimes, I'll talk to people about the podcast. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this. And they're like, so wait, you do this full time? I'm like, yeah, it's my full-time income. And they're like, so like, are you going to go to school? Or I'm like, no, didn't you hear what I said? I'm doing this, and this. I'm not going back to school. I'm not doing that again. We're so stuck in societal norms, right? Yes. Like, it's normal to go to, but look where that gets people. Look how much student debt we're in. Look at all. So why are we not doing something differently? Why are we all? You know, $500,000 in debt. That's crazy. Like, some of these people are going into major. Like, some of these people will never pay some of this off. You know, but you know, I think it takes people like us. That's what we're here for. You know, if people are going to look at us like we're crazy, they're going to look at us like, what are you doing? Like, you're not following what everyone else is doing. You know, why aren't you trying to be a doctor or a lawyer and all this stuff? It's like, hey, what we're doing is actually beneficial in so many ways that people can't even fathom. You know, being able to help someone through a growth journey or a healing journey or a mindset journey, it'll shorten the amount of time that it would take them to figure it out on themselves. That's what I really start to see coaching as. You know, it's like, it's shortening that distance in between that healing and wherever the person's trying to go, rather than trying to figure it out themselves. And it's invaluable. If you really think about it, it's invaluable. Whatever price that is, it's so invaluable, because that time, you can't get it back if you try to figure that out on your own. And so this is people actually taking the time out of their lives to say, hey, I went through this, and I don't want you to have to go through 10 years of this. You know, you can shorten that in about 6 months to a year instead of, you know. Exactly. It's so interesting you say that. I forget who I was listening to, but they said that same exact thing. They were like, you know, people on TikTok, like some people who are on TikTok, like shit on coaches and whatnot. But what they don't understand is that people who are teaching, you know, and there are some people out there, coaches that are teaching what they've never been through, but people like you and I, where we've actually been through the experience.
Yes.
We put ourselves through the experience, and it might take you and I a year, but now we can turn around and teach someone else how to do it in 6 months, half the time. And that's where that value comes in, is that people are understanding, you know, some people don't see it, but a lot of people do, is like, hey, she's been through this, or Jalen's been through this, and they know what they're doing. And so now they're going to guide me in the right direction. All I have to do is pay attention to the steps they're giving me and just follow. Yes,
1000%.
And that is so valuable. That's, you know, honestly, if I could charge 50 grand to work with me, I would, and I probably will at some point, but that's, you know, you get to decide what is your value. What is the value of working with you? What is the value that you put into yourself as a human being?
1000%. And so everyone that's watching, like I said, Bri she's a confidence coach. She's a mindset coach. She does this. So if anyone is interested that's listening, Bri, where can they find you, and what type of, you offer like one-on-ones? You can let it know what you offer.
Thanks, Jalen. Yeah, I do offer one-on-one coaching. So I offer 5 weeks of coaching, which is my highest package, or 2 weeks. And then I also just sell my outline, where you guys can purchase through the link in my TikTok. It's just an outline. If you don't want to forefront a couple $1,000s to work with me, you can just do everything on your own and go through the process on your own, but still have the steps. So you can reach out to me through TikTok. I think it's under Bri Frangos. And all my offerings are in the link in my bio.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll put all that stuff down below, and everything's on TikTok, right? Everything's on. All right, cool. Yeah,
everything's like on TikTok, and then you can get to my Instagram through TikTok and all that. So
awesome. So I'll have your name and everything. I'll just get your links and all that stuff, and I'll just put that in the description and everything for everybody to easily find. So awesome. Well, listen, Bri, this has been an awesome episode.
I know. Thank you so much for having me. I was like on the couch taking a nap, and I was so tired, but now I'm amped up and I want to go to the gym.
Right. I just got back from the gym actually when I got here. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right. So, yeah. Well, thank you once again for being on. If you want to do another one anytime, let me know, and I'll shoot you some clips if you want to use them for your platform and stuff, and I'll probably edit it sometime this weekend and hopefully have it up before Monday or by Monday. So
okay, yeah, I would definitely love to share some of the clips on my TikTok and my Instagram for sure.
All right, sounds good. All right, thank you once again for being on Elevated Minds.
Okay.
All right, everyone, stay elevated.
Bye.
All right, bye.